Welcome to a place where hearts unwind, infinite threads that gently bind, love and compassion in every line. Together we rise through space and time.
Welcome back to Infinite Threads. I'm your host, Bob. Over the last few episodes, we've been walking through something very real. We began with the exhaustion that comes from always being the loving one. Then we moved into the power of the quiet no, the steady boundary that protects love from burnout. And in the last episode, we faced the reality that when you change, when you grow, when you stop shrinking, some people push back. Now we widen the lens, because it's not just individuals who resist softness. It's the culture itself. We live in a world that often rewards hardness, volume, certainty, or dominance. The quick comeback, the sharp edge, the unbending stance. Scroll through any feed, watch any debate, listen to how applause gathers. It gathers around force, around confidence that borders on aggression, around performance that leaves no room for doubt, or around voices that declare rather than consider. Softness, by contrast, is often misunderstood. It is mistaken for weakness. It is labeled naive. It is dismissed as impractical. And yet, softness is one of the strongest forces available to a human being. Softness is restraint when you could retaliate. Softness is curiosity when you could condemn. Softness is openness when you could armor yourself. The world will tell you that to survive, you must harden. It will tell you that kindness makes you vulnerable, that empathy makes you exploitable, that patience makes you invisible. And sometimes, after enough pushback, after enough misunderstanding, after enough fatigue, you may feel the temptation to believe it. There is a moment many people reach where they say, fine, this is how the world operates. I'll operate the same way. It feels protective. It feels efficient. It feels like finally leveling the field. But of course, there's a but. And there is a cost. When you harden in order to survive, something inside you narrows. Your perception tightens. Your responses become sharper. You may gain control, but you lose spaciousness. You may gain authority, but you lose warmth. Hardness simplifies the world into categories, into sides, into enemies and allies. Softness allows complexity, and complexity is where understanding lives. Staying soft in a hard world does not mean refusing to see reality. It does not mean pretending harm doesn't exist, and it does not mean allowing injustice to flourish unchecked. It means choosing your posture carefully. It means refusing to let the world's aggression rewrite your character. There is a difference between strength and hardness. Hardness resists impact by becoming rigid. Strength absorbs impact without losing integrity. A tree that is completely rigid will snap in a storm. A tree that can bend survives. Softness bends without breaking. When you stay soft, you remain capable of connection. You remain capable of nuance. You remain capable of seeing the human being behind the behavior. That does not mean you excuse harm. It means you do not let harm define your inner architecture. The culture often confuses dominance with leadership. It confuses intimidation with power, and it confuses certainty with wisdom. But some of the strongest leaders in history were not loud. They were steady. They were patient. They were able to hold tension without exploding into it. Softness requires regulation. It requires awareness, and it requires discipline. Hardness is reactive. Softness is intentional. And intention is powerful, guys. You will not always be applauded for staying soft. In fact, you may be criticized for it. You may be told you're too gentle, too patient, too willing to see multiple sides. But here is something worth remembering. When you choose softness, you are not choosing passivity. You are choosing depth. You are choosing to respond instead of react. You are choosing to widen instead of narrow, and you are choosing to remain human in environments that reward dehumanization. That is not weakness. That is courage. After all we've talked about, the fatigue, the boundaries, the pushback, this may be the most radical act of all. To grow, to stand firm, to face resistance and still remain soft. Because softness is what keeps love accessible. If you harden completely, love becomes conditional, it becomes transactional, and it becomes guarded. When you stay soft, love remains possible. And in a world that often celebrates hardness, the quiet persistence of softness may be one of the most transformative forces available to us. In the next episode, we'll talk about something hopeful. The ripple you may never see. The unseen impact of choosing this path. But for now, hold on to this. You do not have to mirror the world's hardness to survive it. You can be steady without being rigid, and you can be strong without being sharp. You can remain soft and still stand unshaken. I'm glad you're here, guys. And I am grateful that you're choosing strength that doesn't require armor. I love you all very, very, very much. And you know what I need you to do? Go out there and pass that on, okay? Later, Gators. Bye-bye.